Welcome to Talks with Dr. Gupta and friends. Today, we unpack a moment that looks deceptively simple on the surface, a meeting at Mar-a-Lago, but in reality sits at the crossroads of two global flashpoints, Ukraine and Taiwan. What connects them is not geography. It is power, perception, and persuasion. When Donald Trump met Volodymyr Zelenskyy at Mar-a-Lago, the optics suggested optimism. Trump publicly hinted that a Ukraine peace deal might be close. But beneath the confidence lies a far more fragile reality. Ukraine's peace framework is reportedly 90% agreed, largely on military mechanics. The remaining 10%, however, contains the existential questions: territory, Donbass, long-term security guarantees, trust, or the lack of it. These are not footnotes. They are deal breakers. Russia insists on retaining the Donbass. Zelenskyy has drawn a red line. Any territorial concession would require a national referendum. US proposal: 15-year guarantees. Ukraine's demand: 30 to 50 years. Kiev's logic is simple. Without ironclad security, war merely pauses. It doesn't end. Russia, led diplomatically by Sergei Lavrov, frames Ukraine as the obstacle, accusing Kiev of stalling negotiations. This is not just diplomacy. It is information warfare. While Europe negotiates, Asia simmers. The United States has approved a record $11.1 billion arms sale to Taiwan, triggering an immediate and aggressive response from Beijing. China's reaction? Live fire drills, joint operations across Army, Navy, Air Force, and rocket forces. Simulated naval blockades encircling Taiwan. The message is unmistakable. This is a rehearsal, not a warning shot. Taiwan's president, Lai Ching-te, has responded with a $40 billion defense commitment over 8 years, signaling resolve, but also acknowledging the scale of the threat. A blockade, not an invasion, is the nightmare scenario. Energy cutoffs, food shortages, trade paralysis, all without a single amphibious landing. Here is where Ukraine and Taiwan collide. Both crises are now orbiting around one central pivot point: the perception of the American president. Military analyst Mick Ryan describes this as cognitive warfare, a contest not for land, but for belief. His stark claim: Vladimir Putin has colonized Trump's mind. Strong words, but listen to Trump's own language after speaking with Vladimir Putin. Putin wants Ukraine to succeed. Ukraine is the apple of his eye. These phrases align almost perfectly with Moscow's narrative. In contrast, Zelensky's message, grounded in legal guarantees, institutions, and referendums, struggles to compete with Putin's emotional framing. We now have two flashpoints: Ukraine and Taiwan. One decision-maker whose personal perceptions could tilt outcomes. Two authoritarian challengers watching closely. If Russia extracts concessions through narrative dominance, China concludes the West lacks resolve. Then Taiwan becomes not just a regional risk, but the next test case. This is no longer just about tanks, treaties, or troop numbers. It is about influence. What happens to global stability when wars are decided not only on battlefields, but inside the mind of a single leader? That is the real uncertainty shaping 2026 and beyond. Happy new thinking.